It's midterm report card day. Always one of the worst days of my life. Elementary school and high school. Guessing you guys are a little different, though.
Disciplinary times.
Yeah, shout out all the Asian dads out there.
I think you used that same bit last year.
Did I really? This is Basketball Island. Hein, Hambone, our resident curling expert, Wes Chang, and Fab. We'll talk Wes and curling a little later in the show.
Will we?
But we got a natural break in the year with I would say, a fun All-Star weekend. Saturday kind of sucked. Sunday was good.
Doing a pod after a win. Scottie Barnes on the winning team.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But we're doing our grades for the Raptors. Wes, you look like you're ready. You're ready.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Dude, grades, Asians, bro, that's what we live for, man.
You said it.
We got the whiteboards, and I think let's start with Scottie because this one's easy. I think we're all gonna be around the same thing. So let's start with Scottie.
Okay,
Scottie
sure.
Barnes.
Let's get right into it, okay?
Scottie Barnes. I don't think this is a debate.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
I also went A
plus.
I would never give out a plus. That's
So
A
honestly,
for sure.
I'll
Fine, get it up. There you go.
156 stocks, leads the NBA.
Yeah.
Probably will be top 3 depoy. Probably should be first team all defense. And for me, the thing that I really like from this year, and this is anecdotal, doesn't it seem like he appears to be more of a vocal leader with this group?
Yes.
And I think when you take the defense stuff, the mega leap that we all wanted, and then when you take that leadership stuff in, that is why I went A+ versus an A.
Yeah, look, numbers, they'll tell the story as well, but I do agree with you. I think a lot of the intangibles are why I would give him an A. Really like what you're seeing from a leadership standpoint. Mm-hmm. He's really kind of gotten over the hump with that, and you're seeing it in wins and losses. Like, Fab, you reference this all the time. Look how much of a disaster it is when he's off the court.
Yeah,
right?
they lose
Scottie
some
Barnes.
competency.
Scottie Barnes, obviously, very deserving.
Raptors are 6th in defense because of Scottie Barnes. Mm-hmm. He's had to lift up literally everyone else in that starting lineup. The only other guy that can kind of play with him, the lineup numbers are pretty good, is when CMB plays. But CMB's a rookie. He makes mistakes pretty obviously, but great future potential in that regard. And we'll talk about him in a moment. But Scottie Barnes is the reason the Raptors are a top 6 defense. It's not even close. And you hit on it. Maturity. Yeah, season didn't start so great. Those first 5 games, 1-4, some of the stuff that we pointed out, especially in that Mavericks game where there's a lot of lethargy and a lot of complaining to the refs. But since then, the maturity is just through the roof. He is the reason why the Raptors are where they are today.
I have a question for you. Do you think this Raptors roster is even tailored to his strengths, even near to the optimization it could be?
No, great question.
You can nibble with the offensive stuff from him. He's not like a pure bucket getter, and I think Ingram has helped in that regard. But picture him with a stretch 5, with a point guard who can slash.
Any shooters.
That's what I'm saying. So he doesn't even have a roster around him that's built around his biggest strengths yet. So A+ for me. What else do you want from this guy?
Imagine how his defense would be seen if they actually had capable defensive players around him.
Yeah.
The fact that he didn't have to cover for IQ and RJ and it's just, for me, he's a perfect Swiss Army knife. He can do a little bit of everything. He may not be your 1A, which we talked about ad nauseum, but he is that Scottie Pippen. He's the dude that can literally fill every single hole you've got. And if you just give him some competency on both ends of the floor, oh my goodness.
And good for him for being on the winning team at All-Star. Hit the game-winning 3.
Defensive plays.
That was huge. It was good. It kind of put him on the radar a little more so for the American media, right?
To your point, too, of that he's not quite that 1A, I think it's that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
There's so few guys who can be that guy to win a title. The fact that he's malleable to play with anybody, to Fab's point of the pieces don't fit around him. Not everybody can make themselves fit in a situation where the pieces don't work like that.
But the reason I brought up the roster thing is because say he did have more space to operate in. He could just bully ball.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have those lanes to look at someone like Cade. He's got shooting all around him, right? He's got a lob threat. Things are easier for him. Imagine Scottie had all kinds of space to just back someone down every play. Half the time teams are just packing in the paint on him as well, right? So we'll see. Maybe in the future.
Scottie might not be a 1A, but where do you think he ranks in the two-way player rankings in the NBA? he's probably right up there.
Yeah.
Well, he's
So-
he's going to be all NBA most likely, right? Or at least in the mix.
He should be first team all defense. If he's not first team all
he
defense,
should,
that's
for sure.
we riot. We
The
take
only-
to the streets.
The only argument against the 1A stuff is that he's being paid as one, right? He got that max deal in Toronto, so you're kind of.
But that's the
pigeonholed
nature of
into a
contracts in
role.
the NBA. That just happens. That's how it is.
It happens, but you do need a guy who can create for you consistently. But to Fab's point, I don't think this roster maximizes his offensive potential. I don't think it maximizes his defensive potential, but he's made the most of it in that end.
And now, before we move on to our next guy, I'm just going to look right into the camera and give a disclaimer. All of us are probably going to have different views on RJ Barrett. So when you go to comments, keep that in mind. Don't just paint with a broad brush. This is very much differing opinions between the four of us. So the moment everybody's been waiting for, RJ Barrett.
Okay, all right.
I mean, okay, I'm not going to be that bad about it, I don't think.
Oh, man.
B minus.
Yeah, same.
B minus.
Wow.
B-minus.
No,
So
actually
you told
had
everyone
that?
we had different opinions. And we all have B-minus.
I'll have the same
So, I don't know,
exact
man.
opinion.
So we all have the same opinion apparently. So you were right,
Wow,
commenters.
Wow. Okay.
That's fair. B- is actually fair considering.
For me with Scottie, this is just a tale of two seasons.
Sorry, RJ.
RJ.
Sorry.
Yeah.
To me, with RJ, this is a tale of two seasons. And since he has returned from injury, he has not been the same guy. And the offense doesn't look as fluid. The attacking of the bucket doesn't look the same as it did. And maybe I'm sort of torn to that winning streak when things looked really good, but I don't know. It just doesn't quite look the same. And I'm going to give him a bit of a benefit of the doubt that I think it's health related, and that is why I've
B
given
for
it.
benefit of the
Yeah,
doubt.
benefit of the doubt.
I think to me, offensively this season, I have no problems with RJ Barrett. Obviously, you'd like to see some of those shots fall. I'd obviously love to limit some of the turnovers. Wes has a shot chart out, which we'll get into in a moment, which speaks to just how he's kind of fit in to this data-based way of playing offense. And I think they're putting him in a tough spot because, again, RJ's another dude who will thrive off of shooting around him because he's a slasher, because he's the only guy on the team that consistently puts pressure on the rim. My issues aren't there. It's always going to be defensively. I actually thought to start the season, he showed a lot of gumption on that end of the floor, especially man-to-man defense. He still gets beat a little bit off ball. It's pretty obvious to say that his injury issues, the knee, has been bothering him since he's returned to the lineup. I'm looking forward to see how he can up his game after the All-Star break, but my issues are not offensively. They're always going to be on the defensive end, but this season, the least of their problems for the Raptors this season for RJ.
B- for me, this is a positive grade for RJ. I'm saying this in a very optimistic standpoint. The chat coming into the season was fit. We just talked about Scottie Barnes. Fit. All I want to highlight with RJ, 432 field goal attempts this year, 11 shots in the mid-range.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
crazy.
11.
That's
So
nuts.
that is a testament to him recognizing how to change his game, be malleable, and adjust to fit what this team needs. I give him all the love for doing that, and he's been very effective in this role, getting to the rim.
Question: how much credit do you give to, say, Darko, coaching staff, and management to sort of be like, hey, this is clearly an issue? Like, how do you decide how much credit goes to RJ in that and how much do you give coaching staff?
I think it goes hand in hand, but RJ also, I think, as we referenced Javon Shepherd, I think RJ is the best corner turner on the entire
I love
team.
that line from Javon.
And he's stepped into it very well. He gets in transition very well, and it's all connected.
Raptors need what he does. They need someone who can
crucial.
consistently put pressure on the rim. He fulfills that duty for them.
Yeah, B- for me. He's average. You know, he's an average shooter, average efficiency, slightly below average defense. I mean, he's okay.
This is where the comment is like, hey, he said it.
I am not.
Don't look at us.
I am not Fab.
It's
That
not-
is Fab.
That's not a chirp. He's okay. He
Guys,
shoots
just side of chairs this way.
He shoots 70% from the line.
That's-
What's he from three? 35%. He's literally his analytics are average. He's an okay player. And I will say this, he looked much better pre-injury. So I do think that's a little more towards the real side of who RJ Barrett is. He doesn't look completely comfortable since he's come back. He's kind of laboring around. He doesn't have that like pop that he did earlier in the season. So I'm willing to give him that benefit of the doubt as well. But yeah, like he's a good, decent player in the starting lineup.
So one note I have that the only offensive critique I have with him, last year, and you flagged this early in the year, Wes, last year, his playmaking was unbelievable last year. That's really fallen off. He's down almost 2 dimes a game versus last year. So it's not quite there as much. Maybe he doesn't have the ball as much in those situations, and that's where that's coming from. But I'm most excited just to see what he looks like in the playoffs. And this is a guy who's got potential big contract coming, and his playoffs, I think, have a big impact on what happens with him in the future as a Raptor.
So you touched on it. $27 million. Fab labeled him as an average player, which I would agree based on the numbers. Due for an extension in the summer. I don't think he's worth $27 million or an extension on that.
We'll get into Webster later, but yeah, there's a very good chance that Barrett's not on this team next year just because of his contract and the situation he's in. But we'll see.
And just because he gives the Raptors something that they need, I don't think that justifies overpaying him for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of guys.
Another guy who can do that.
There are other dudes who could put pressure on the rim. It'd be great if IQ could do that more frequently, which we'll get into as well. But yeah, for me, solid year. Let's see how he does the second half.
One last softening of the Barrett stuff.
Let's just everyone distance themselves from Fab here.
Some teams are in a better position to give Barrett the maximum in his range of pay outcomes. The Raptors are a team that are extremely handcuffed. Yeah. So it has nothing to do with his fit and their love for him on this team. Other teams out there can pay him more.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Brandon Ingram.
How dare you put the All-Star third?
Ingram. Hold on, I had it written down. Okay, yeah.
Wow. Oh, I thought that was a D for a second.
No, it's an A. Come on.
I'm like, what?
It's a B. Yeah, 3.
So,
Notorious.
B.
There's one number for me that is the most important thing, and that is the number 2. 2 games missed.
Yeah, that
2 games missed.
Big.
That is the
Huge,
most important stat when it
huge.
comes to Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is a very consistent player throughout his entire career. It's just a matter of those games played. He has been healthy. He's doing everything that he is supposed to do as a player. And you've touched on it earlier. When that offense gets stagnant, sometimes they maybe rely on it a little too much, but he can bail you out of the bucket. More than happy with everything I've seen from Brandon Ingram, especially the health.
What he provides for you in the half-court offense when things are a slog, he's a guy who's like guaranteed to get you a shot, which is a big thing for this team. Can he put the ball on the rim? That's way more important than a lot of other things, because like a turnover in that situation kills you. He can get you a shot against pretty much anybody in the league. I have a problem with some of his intangibles, though, and this comes back to defense, comes back to rebounding. Against the Pistons, last game for the All-Star break, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. I think against some of the most elite teams and the best competitors in the league, he falls a little bit flat there. I'm very curious to see how he does this rest of season, but especially in the playoffs. Can he get that shot off against elite defenders consistently? It remains to be seen.
You always measure against expectations. I think with BI, what jumps out to me the most is I think he's given more defensive pop than you would have expected of him coming in. He's averaging a career high in total stocks per game. Rebounding, you mentioned that just now. He's not having a bad rebounding year. It wanes, but this is his 3rd highest average he's had. So I just think beyond the scoring, some of these other things that you didn't know if it was going to come with the BI package, it's come. And I think you just got to give him a nod for that, especially you already hit on the health being the biggest thing.
He's come as advertised for me. He kind of is giving you exactly what you thought you were going to get from him. And just look at the lift in wins from last year to this year. That's probably predominantly due to him. So no complaints. I mean, to your point, he's missed 2 games.
Yeah.
He's giving you the half-court scoring you were looking for. Analytics don't love him. They never really have. But watching them every night, you'd say their offense, especially in the half-court, would look putrid if he wasn't on the court, especially the ability to draw 2 defenders at times to make those tough shots. So no complaints. To your point, like I don't think like there's the defense comes and goes a little bit. There's sometimes you can nitpick, like even back earlier in the season, that 3 where Knipple hit and he didn't get his hands up. But overall, what are you gonna do, man? That he is who he is, and he's done well for them.
I think he's another guy too who I'm excited for him in the playoffs, because when things slow down and the half court is so much more important, that's the type of guy who can thrive. And we've seen him have moments like a first round moments in the playoffs before. I'm excited for his play.
So again, like the thing I'm looking for is when you're one-on-one against OG Anunoby, Asar Thompson, whoever it is, can you get a clean shot off? Are you going to give up the dribble? Like, are you going to get picked? I'm very curious to see if he can still excel when teams are honing in on him. I thought what the Pistons did was they sent doubles on Ingram. He didn't make the perfect read in time, and that led to the Raptors' offense pretty much capsizing on itself because the decisions weren't as crisp or sharp as they needed to be. It's interesting for him because this is coming off an injury. Let's see how he does when the temperature is turned up a little bit, when the Raptors can scheme for him in that regard. A lot to be discovered with Brandon Ingram.
Now, to your point as well, and I think it's kind of weird, and Wes touched on this really well in last week's episode. We're pretty judgmental with that Pistons game, and I was especially.
Very much so.
That defense was on a string, and that's one of the best defenses in the NBA, but that's just the last thing that we saw. And it's like, they're not going to get the Pistons in the first round.
They could.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't think so. No. They're not getting an 8 seed.
Well,
I mean, you never know. We'll see. I don't think so either, but yeah.
And I think when we get to Bobby, we will talk about that contract and how we feel about that contract. But let's save that for the Bobby.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with the contract.
Let's save it for Bobby.
Who's next?
Quickly.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. What do I got? Ooh. Yeah. All right. What do I do?
C-.
Okay, I went a little bit.
D-.
No, hold on.
What?
Like Hambone last year, his D is a minus. I am making the Hambone joke from last year.
Wow.
That is all. His D is a minus.
Yo, pin that tweet, bro.
Who's the most optimistic? C+.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Wow.
Actually.
Realistically, I would give a C, but I just wanted to make the Hambone joke like last year of his D being a minus.
Hell of a joke by you.
You could
It's an homage. It's an homage to your joke.
you could go C- to C+ for me. Any range of the C's. He's been below average for me. Like the shooting just hasn't been good enough. I think on catch and shoots this year. Let me check this. I think he's shooting 37% on wide open threes. That's not good enough.
No.
30% on pull-ups, not even close. 40% on catch and shoots. Like, if his value stems from having to only hitting threes is the only way Quickley can provide value, and he's not shooting better than that, then I have a big problem because the defense isn't good. The paint touches aren't good. The playmaking is not up to par with the starting point guards. And for a guy who makes over $32 million, he's not meeting expectations for me, and that's my grade.
Man, you've touched on it a lot this year. For me, it's the dribbling. It's the useless dribbling where you just kill possession.
He's not a point guard.
I know, and it's
right.
Like
so we're just expecting him to be when he's leveraged off ball, he's more effective. But there's just games where you don't, even when you look and you're like, oh, he had 20 points. Like, you don't feel his presence, right? Like, you don't feel it in a way that's driving wins. I don't know. That might just be like a barbershop eye test take, but
the numbers are empty calories. I think that's the best way to describe it.
IQ is a prime example of why you need to watch the games.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you just looked at his numbers
Yeah.
as a fantasy
They're the
player,
So,
you'd be like, oh, he's pretty good.
Well, let me do that. I'll interject and go back to you. So, on his career, he's having a career high assist season. He's having his career a second best shooting percentage season all 6 years of his career. Okay, so yeah, you read the stat line, looks good, but like you said, I think you see what you see.
You see what you see, and like it's the late shot clock where you're driving into nowhere because you can't turn a corner, you can't get to the rim, you dribble it out, you hand grenades off to your teammates, and all of a sudden the offense kind of falters. That's where Brandon Ingram has had to get a lot of his shot diet, quite frankly, which is unfortunate. It's just IQ for him to be bad defensively, off ball and on ball. I think he's in the right spots more often than not. He just can't do anything when he's there. Guys will overpower him. Like, there's one game against the Utah Jazz where Isaiah Collier pretty much stuck his shoulder into his chest over and over and just did what he wanted with him. It's just your shooting needs to be a lot better to justify the lack of defense relative to his contract.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. $32.5 million. You need to be able to give some two-way play there at a high level. You need to stick 40% of your threes.
yeah,
40%.
exactly. Yeah, no, he has to shoot better to give the team value for his contract. He needs to shoot much better.
Yeah, to make up for the efficiencies on defense. And this fan base, once playoff starts, once people are actually,
I'm worried.
the Raptors fans are watching all of the games and every possession, they are going to turn on this guy so fast because he's just going to get attacked.
Well,
good teams will attack him over and over and over and over again.
His numbers in the playoffs with the Knicks were not good.
Not good.
RJ Barrett's were actually pretty good, so I do have hope in that regard. But Quickley did not have good postseason performances with New York either. So
I think RJ's a gamer. I think Quickley tends to wilt a little bit. I mean, I still can't get the image of Desmond Bane throwing him to the ground and him not doing anything about it. Are you kidding me? Like, did that happen to me? There's a riot.
So
Like,
you want Moussa Diabate. That's what you want.
I want Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah,
I want anyone who has like, like to me, when you get tossed on the ground like that,
Well,
like you need to get up and do something about it.
For those questioning Hambone's credentials, maybe in the comments right now, I recall a Hoop Dome game where you and another guy both got tossed out, and it was like find you in the parking lot after type situation.
He wanted to find me.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, one
Good
last
thing you
stat.
didn't.
One last stat for IQ that we see. Okay, has a lot of trouble turning corners. He gets to the rim 14% of his shots. That's the 23rd percentile in the NBA amongst point guards. So that's just something that the data speaks to.
Yeah.
He does not get to the rim the way you want on a championship playoff competing level team.
And his floater game is not elite, right? It's kind of like his 3-point shooting. If you can't get to the rim, you need to be
need
elite
that.
in
You
those
need
other
that, yeah.
areas, especially if you're getting paid $32.5 million and your defense isn't great.
All right, let's get to Yak.
Oh,
Oh, doing yak?
I feel bad about this.
I don't.
I
I
don't know.
don't want to do this, but it's you have to.
I'm going the cop out. Incomplete.
I also.
Oh my God!
No.
Oh, we're sandwiched by losers.
No, look. Hey man.
Basically, if I'm a teacher, I'm just saying we're gonna
Look at
finish
us.
a semester later in the year. You're gonna have to do some summer school
It's like the
to
kid-
make up your grades
it's
because
like-
I can't give you grades on how little you played, but it's closer to a D if I had to give. The guy hasn't played. What am I supposed to do? The guy hasn't played.
If the kid gets mono and misses 4 months of school, you don't fail him.
So what,
You
Bob-
just put the eye up.
So with that analogy, Bobby Webster's pretty much paid for 5 years of tuition in advance. In advance for Poeltl.
I will say this: and I'll just talk about the offense because especially in the return, he looks stiff as hell
Yes.
defensively.
Unfair.
I really still like what I see from Yak on the offensive end in terms of things you can do with dribble handoffs, pick and roll. He's an important cog to an offense that when they need to operate at their max ability, he is an important part of that. So,
Yes.
and he's been hurt and it sucks, but offensively, I think he's going to be important to how this offense will look in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm going to use numbers to drive my argument here. He's averaging half a block a game. The last time he averaged less than that was his rookie year when he played 11 minutes.
Yeah.
So I worry that he's becoming on the wrong side of 30 very fast. It's just too fast for me. You would have hoped with that contract extension that he had a few more years of like very solid rim protection. Maybe it's still there. But this season, evaluating these 22 games, didn't really see it. And I think it's kind of it's a mark on him that the Raptors are 6th in defense. He's playing less than half their games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't blame him for a couple things. I don't blame him for taking the money, the contract. I partly blame him for the back injury. I worried that he came into the season with it and he's been unable to manage it. He needs to play games. I also don't blame him for not being a stretch 5, although I think they should lean into that a little bit more. I think he should take some threes. When he hit that 3 against Portland last season, I was like, oh,
It's a new day.
it's a new day in Raptors land. If he can give you a couple corner threes a game, like, why not?
Even just taking them.
Just take them. If teams just like let you do it, it's okay. But he hasn't played enough. The contract looks bad. I do like him as a connector when he's in there, but you just worry about the fit on this particular Raptors team. And it's just, there's a lot. I would have loved to see more of a sample size with him on the floor. It hasn't happened. I have to give him a D. You have to write INC, not just an I.
Why can't I have the eye?
Nah, it's-
I wrote INC.
Bad-
I erased
bad
it.
with the right thing. Yeah.
Sam's got one of those in his life, probably.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the Raps need him. They need him, especially in the playoffs. They need a big who can board, and hopefully his rim protection gets a little bit better. But they need that size, and it's unfortunate he hasn't been able to play much this year, but he did come back before the break, so let's see. Like, maybe he stays healthy and has a good playoffs. Like, I do trust that he could probably perform well in the playoffs if he's healthy. So let's see.
This grade probably be very different in April. By the time
It could be. Yeah, these grades
But
could all change. They're
this is
midterms.
Yes,
They're not
yeah.
finals. They're
Yeah.
not final grades.
Midterms. It's a D.
It's also not his fault that the Raptors don't have any big men behind him or didn't
Yeah.
before
Not
the
his
trade
fault.
deadline.
Yeah.
That's not his fault. So his absence has been more glaring in that role.
Yeah.
So I think that's a perfect segue then to go to Bobby.
Okay.
Whose fault it might be.
Are we skipping a bunch of dudes?
No, we got the bench, but I just think
collectively?
segue-wise, I think what you just said is a perfect segue
Sure.
into Bobby.
I gotcha.
Sure.
Man.
See, I struggled with what Wes did.
C.
Okay. All right.
C for me.
okay, I gotta
Fab,
do
I feel
this.
like we're very aligned today.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
C+.
Ham won't
I
stop
was-
copying off me like this is grade 10, bro. Get out of here.
I was very, very close to doing the C+. The only here's kind of how I had it in my notes. The great CMB pick.
Yes.
The bad, the Yak contract.
Yeah.
The medium to okay, the Ingram contract. I just love CMB so much that I think it takes a C+ to a B-. However, there's a lot of issues with this roster. There's a lot of holes. You guys just talked about it with the lack of size. But to me, it's just the CMB pick could be that good that it takes it from a C+ to a B-.
You even mentioned Mamukelashvili, who was a value signing,
Yeah.
like $3 million, 1-year deal. He's been a revelation off the bench. I think with Bobby, the big detracting thing is the Poeltl contract based on what we've seen thus far. You didn't need to do that extension. I know, Fab. I know.
We say this every time.
You didn't need
but-
to do it. The Quickley contract.
Well,
you know.
so we'll say the Quickley contract could have been Masai. We don't know that, right? And that whole previous regime, it's hard to separate what Bobby did and what Masai did. I don't know exactly who decided on what.
I think you just put them both together. They were a unit together.
Fair, but ultimately, if Masai wanted something, he was overruling Bobby.
sure.
So, in terms of the, you know what Bobby is this year? It's like you as a mediocre student, you show up to a test and you have 3 sections down pat, and one you have no idea what's happening, and you just flunk that section. So maybe I got 75% of the test right, but the Yak extension is just. It's going to handcuff you. It's going to handcuff you next season as well. So I don't know how you dig yourself out of these contracts because you don't have a ton of flexibility. All the other teams know that Yak is damaged goods. They're not going to take them off your hands for nothing. So we'll see how they operate next year. Even Mamu might not be able to stay. Like, you might not afford him. Shed, you might not be able to afford him. Like, that's the reality of their contract situation. So it's a C for me because as much as I love the CMB pick, great pick, the Mamu signing, the cap situation you're in right now is not great.
Yeah, I'll just wrap it by saying, evaluating based off of the trade deadline, they achieved their goal. They got onto the tax. That's what they set out to do. A lot of extra due diligence, name being thrown out there a lot, which is awesome. But how can you give a positive grade for basically doing almost nothing? Yeah. Like I can't give you an A, let alone a B. C+, it's not a bad grade. It's based off of what he did. That's all you can get. I can't give you more. You didn't do anything to exceed expectations.
Getting under the tax is fine. You also put yourself over the tax.
Yeah, yes,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So
You don't get credit for
these
that.
are all these things lead into one another. Like Ingram contract, I have no problem with it. The whole pre-agency thing that worked out. You see other teams doing the same thing right now, and I think Ingram has worked out as an all-star.
Yes.
So that's fine. It's just a lot to be determined this summer. RJ Barrett's contract.
What about
massive.
Ingram?
Ingram
So
as well.
here's another thing. Ingram has one more year after this, and then he has a player option.
right? Yeah.
Are you throwing a 4-year extension at him? I don't know, man. I would almost play him out. Now, I don't want to get too deep into it, but there's a lot of decisions that have to be made already with guys like that.
I don't think you make a decision on that till you see him play the next year.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if this health thing is actually real.
That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
You
And
don't,
how he does in playoffs.
Yeah. 100%.
A lot of things. To me, it's just how you navigate RJ Barrett's upcoming extension. You know he's going to want probably Immanuel Quickley money. Are you prepared to shell out another fat contract?
Quickley
Sad is
money.
that Immanuel Quickly money.
It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. Bobby's fingerprints all over that too, man.
I want IQ money.
It's just like, but RJ's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna take a hometown discount. If I'm RJ Barrett, I'm like, I'm a better hooper than Quick.
I
He's
know.
my boy, but I'm a better
But the
hooper.
Raps can't give Barrett $30 million.
No, you cannot.
You cannot do that.
And then you
cannot
have,
do that.
and then you got like Grady Dick extension questions. I don't think he's earned that. We can get into the
No.
bench.
No.
You just like.
Do you want to go right to the bench now?
We can.
And then we'll finish with Darko. Sure. Bench now. This is tricky too because it's like the highs are high and the lows are low.
Lows
Yeah,
are low.
it is a tricky-
The lows are low.
So I've gone back and forth on this.
Let's see. I'm in the range.
So
You copying off me?
initially
I wrote it first.
I initially had a B minus.
I had B
And then
minus.
I changed it to a C plus.
I got B minus.
And I think we're all going to be aligned here. Like CMB, Shed, great, amazing, love that. It's just Grady and Jakob Poeltl.
No, you know what? No, you didn't mention Mamu.
Yeah, no, Mamu's been awesome. Mamu's been
best
awesome.
part
Love
of the
Mamu.
bench.
Mamu,
Best part of
Shed,
the bench.
CMB, great. Grady and Jacoby, just roulette all year
Yeah.
with what you're getting from these guys on a nightly basis. They've given you a lift sometime on some nights. Hey man, they've come through for you. So overall, pretty positive. You're getting a lot of production from cheap players, which is good. What you need to do in the NBA, but it's a little unfortunate that you can't be that excited about Grady or Jacoby, 2 lotto picks who. Can you honestly say either of those guys are going to be a foundational piece of the Raptors core? I don't think you can right now.
You have no consistency, and that's for me what does it. It's like you just need to hit shots. One of you just be able to hit shots, and neither of them can do that.
Yeah.
I'm a little higher on Jacoby than I am Grady. I think Grady does give you a lot of the intangibles. His shot does not look good. Leo Rounds has been harping on it on the broadcast. Like his form just looks off. At the very least, Jacoby can give you some on-ball defense, which is nice. But sometimes lack of consistency just looks like a fish out of water when it comes to just decision-making, defense. I think he lacks a little toughness in that regard. Those 2 guys are the ultimate variables. You don't know what you're going to get from either of them any night. You hope one of them has a moment or 2 in the playoffs. That'd be great. But the reason why I gave the grade I gave is because of CMB and Jamal Shed, quite frankly.
And Mamu.
And Mamu, yes. But but to me, CMB is like, you have future equity there. Like, that's a guy who's going to be on your team for the next 5 years. That's the reason why I think the bench has been what it was. The fact that he filled in admirably.
So, but oddly enough, just because the reason I sort of dropped it, he started almost as much as he's been on the bench.
that-
I know
It's a
he's on the
technicality.
bench. I know.
But that's a strength of your bench.
Yes,
that someone
true.
can come in and play as a starter and you don't miss a beat.
Valid point.
Shed has struggled as of late.
Yep.
I think he gives you a lot of spirit. I think he's, for his size, he's tough. He battles. He can't finish at the rim.
But he's also
I don't
won
trust
you,
his shot.
He's won you games though. Shed has he's closed
Yes.
out a lot of fourth quarters, which is also what you want from a bench players to finish the game, and he's been a big part of that.
And he's the closest thing you have to an actual point guard
Yeah.
on the team, too, where he's actively looking to get his teammates involved. But hard to ask a lot out of him. Second round pick, second year in the league.
That's what I'm saying. There's a curve to like my expectations, right? Like Grady and Jacoby, I expect more from you. Shed, if he has some good games, some bad games, like he's a second round pick. Ultimately he doesn't make that much money. Like I can live with that rather than a 10th overall pick just kind of like crapping the bed most nights, right? Like I just have different expectations.
Yeah.
Anything on? No. You just-
Fad, no. I'm just gonna
Mamu
say-
gang? Any curling takes?
Look, Mamu, stretch 5. Poeltl's a traditional 5 in the starting unit. You got Grady and Jacoby, who are supposed to be 3-point guys. This bench unit has the fifth worst shooting percentage in the entire league. Yeah. So, like, you expect these guys to come in, go gangbusters for a few minutes, swing a game. 5th worst.
Yeah, not there.
So you're not getting what they're supposed to do coming off the bench.
And, like, Mamu, man, like, just $3 million, what you're getting out of him. It's,
Too bad it's only a 1-year deal.
Well, that's going back to Bobby, that's a big decision.
Bet on yourself.
All right, let's finish with Darko.
Darko. I think pretty obvious.
Yeah, I'm aligned with Wes.
I got A.
I went A as well.
A for Darko.
Oh yeah.
A for Darko.
I think honestly, you can really. This is anecdotal, but you can see how much these guys love Darko and love playing for Darko. And in today's NBA, that might be the most important thing in terms of coach is have the buy-in from the players. And it really seems like all of these guys buy in on Darko.
It's a little corny at times.
But if the players believe it, is it corny? It
Sure.
seems real.
Players could be corny.
Do they believe it?
Players could be
Well,
corny.
that's
Like you hiding in the locker room?
I mean, players can be corny too, but it's a little. Listen, man, I love that he like lives and breathes it. I think a lot of the rhetoric that he had about Scottie Barnes recently was a little too much. League MVP,
Yes.
all that stuff. It's like, listen, man.
Well, it's just like he's already said that. Now you're saying it
yeah,
again.
you're doubling down. I love that like the coach has his players back. I think he's an excellent player development coach. I think he's making the most out of a flawed roster, especially defensively. It was funny just hearing his comments on, what toughness is. And it's just like, he did a good job pretty much not alluding to the fact that the Raptors don't really have that element to their game. But they play hard every night. That's one thing you're going to get. And that to me is coaching. Can you get your players to play hard on both ends of the floor? They're buying into this offense, this 0.5, move the ball, cut off ball stuff. I think he's done a great job of implementing his system. And, Raptors 32-23 this season. I think you had Darko as Coach of the Year odds. I know he's fallen off a little bit in that regard,
There's
but
too many other good candidates.
too many other,
Unfortunately,
that's not his fault. But
Sometimes you just take the CLV banner. You just walk away knowing we got great odds.
he's done great with what he's had, and I would love to see him implement some more of his players to fit his style of game. I think he desperately wants to stretch 5, but is that possible? Who knows?
I'll say Darko's too corny the moment I see him show up in one of their TikToks, all right? That would be too much for me. But no, I think the one thing I love the most about what Darko's done this season is the determination to be the best transition early offense team in the entire NBA.
Yep.
They do that better than anybody else. It's a very deliberate strategy that they have off rebounds, off of turnovers. That is really helps supplement some of their offensive woes they have in the half court, and that's kept them afloat. That's all coaching. That's very deliberate, and I give Darko tons of love for doing that.
Yeah, relative to expectations, I'm not saying anything new. Their over-under was 34.5. They're on pace to win mid-40s. I think he's gotten the most out of what he has with a sometimes very flawed roster. The players buy in.
Yeah.
They like him. I think he's a smart guy. He has a good track record of development.
Yeah.
He's done well. He's done well. You can nitpick certain things. I mean, there are probably a few too many blowout losses where you could argue they look a little bit unprepared. But on the whole, it's a good season. It's a good season. Yeah, but also playoffs. Let's see. This all comes down to what you look like in the playoffs for me. If you look overwhelmed and the players look overwhelmed, I'm gonna have a different final grade for you. But to this point, I think he's done well.
I just want to bring up the fact we agreed together on this on a previous pod. We said last year this is a hot seat season for Darko as a coach.
Cooled completely.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely
Well, it hasn't
switched
even
it.
been a conversation once this year. Not
Completely
once.
swished.
And they've been better on challenges too. Because last year,
No, but you know what though? The challenges are whack sometimes.
man.
They're like a random first quarter. It went out of bounds. You didn't even recover it. It's like, why are we
and dude, I know you love your players, but don't listen to them. They're liars. They're in the heat of the moment.
Don't ever listen to your players.
No.
Also, too, if the viewers are confusing, Fab, with a subtle CLV flex, as he said, their win total was 34.5. Their win total that you got was 34.5. For everybody else before the season started, it was 39.5. So this man got 5 wins of value there.
Facts.
Yeah, 34. Hey, what can I say, man? CLV, baby.
Value
He's on
City.
those lines all day.
Cut the check, FanDuel.
All right, now that the essay written portion of midterms is done, let's get to whatever the version of true or false or multiple choice. The area where a guy like me's got a shot. And we're all going to go kind of rapid fire here and throw out a future bet that we love. Let's start with you, Hambone.
I made this last week. I think Fab jumped on my neck for it. But the 76ers, to not just win the East, but to make the Eastern Conference Finals. To make the Eastern Conference Final plus 500, to win the East plus 1,100. Paul George being out due to suspension, great. Awesome scenario. Comes back healthy and spry for the playoffs. This bet is contingent only on Joel Embiid's health. Do with that what you will. But the East is absolutely wide open. There is no favorite in this conference. You believe in the Cavs? You believe in James Harden in a Game 7, an important game? They've looked great. I'm not buying that yet. I need to see it. It's one of those things. What?
You know who I believe in?
What?
The Boston Celtics at 12-1 to win the NBA title because Jason Tatum, I don't know if you guys saw, I snagged him in every league and then I had to drop him in one because I got a lot of injuries. But Jason Tatum's coming back.
Yeah.
This Celtics team they've held it down perfectly until this point. Now you got Jason Tatum probably back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks? To ramp himself up for playoffs. You're getting 12-1. You said it best. You laid the groundwork. The East is wide open. Boston could maybe compete in this East without Tatum, and then you have Tatum coming back. 12-1 is a crazy number.
My hate for the Celtics won't allow me to make that bet. I don't think things are going to fit too perfectly for them. Okay, Jason Tatum comes back. I know he's a very malleable player. He doesn't demand the ball as much. Maybe we'll see. But I don't think that's going to be as solid a fit as everyone tends to believe.
I think by playoffs it will be. Now, the fact that you can get him back in March and you have about a 6-week window to ramp him up, but if Tatum is back, is Boston a dog against anybody in the Eastern Conference? And I know probably the Pistons, but when That's going to be close to like a -130 plus 100.
Tatum's back playing 30+ minutes and looks to be himself.
Wes is
and
making a face. Let's hear it.
Trouble.
It's trouble. No, it is. And that's I think that just speaks to the East being absolutely wide open. This is the
So
Philly
12-1.
The Philly bet for me is about Tyrese Maxey making the leap, Joel Embiid looking healthier than he has in years, VJ Edgecombe giving them the spark that they haven't had, and they got a pretty good bench as well.
And you can really count on a guy that can beat in the playoffs.
Well, more than James Harden, more than some of the other guys in the East.
That's funny they picked those two bets because none of them matter when they run into SGA in the finals. I like Shea, clutch player of the year, plus 750. If the award ended today, Shea would win this thing. So you're seeing him get such a long odds against these other guys at the top because I think they project OKC to not be in that many clutch games. Well, guess what? They've been 7-7 over the last month. J-Dub re-injured that hamstring injury. OKC's struggling. They might get caught in some of these games. They play Denver 3 more times. I think they play Detroit, Boston, Houston 2 more times. They got some tough games ahead. It's not going to be a cakewalk to the finals, to the playoffs. SGA might have to
The
play
Raptors as well.
They might have to play a few more.
Honestly,
February 24th on TSN.
We've been burned so bad on clutch. Last year with Jokic was just a dagger, and same the year before, like just
Well,
clutch has just killed me. I like that bet. I will bet that as soon as we finish taping. But that clutch just kills me. I hate that
Ant-Man
one.
is the favorite right now, right?
He's the favorite.
Speaking of which, Minnesota Timberwolves to be the 3 seed, plus 800. They're a game and a half back of third right now. They're tied with the Lakers. They're going to go past LA. They're going to go past the Rockets. I think it's between them and Denver. And Denver is not healthy at all. You have to live with the occasional game where Mini just kind of vomit on themselves. It's a little frustrating, but they get up for the best teams. I think they're poised to go on a run. Plus 800 is good value. And in the playoffs, plus 125 to win their first round matchup because if they finish top 3, they're not losing to anyone in the 6th seed. They're not losing to the Lakers. I don't like the Rockets right now either.
No.
I don't like anyone who's coming out of the play-in. So
You saying there's an issue with players on the Rockets? Maybe don't go.
oh my, yeah. I mean, they don't look good.
Burnergate.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
save that for another.
On that note, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Wes, teach us about Olympic curling.
Hog me. Don't double touch it though.
I think you should be able to double touch it before the hog line. This is what I know. Olympics.
That's it for us. You can catch us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We will see you next week.
Hogging it.
Double touch.